So the topic is called emotional intelligence. Translation in Vietnamese is có nghĩa là gì? Emotional intelligence.
Thông minh cảm xúc.
Sự thông minh cảm xúc. Because you know there is called IQ, intelligence quota or something. But you can do a test, and then people give you the different exercise, and then you solve the problem, and that's how you are quote, to be very intelligent or medium intelligence and so on, because you are intelligent. But now we talk about emotional intelligence. So the term was coined in 1990s, or more known since a book of an author called Daniel Coleman on emotional intelligence. He said the book is called Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. Why emotional intelligence matters more than even IQ. So it's a book that came out, I don't know, 30 years ago. But the classical yoga has talked about this a long time ago in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Sutra, and innumerable books. So this presentation will give you the basics of emotional intelligence and trace back the scriptural origin of the yogic teaching. Okay? So the yoga has known this since a very long time. So what is emotional intelligence? Intelligence in general is the ability to learn new concepts and apply your knowledge to solve problems. The discriminative intelligence, according to Vedanta, is the capacity to discern truth and untruth, self and not self. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and to manage your own emotion, to learn about yourself and apply that vision to the world around you. Okay? For people with a high degree of EI, now and then they talk about AI, artificial intelligence. But EI is what you're born with, and you can improve. So people with high degree of emotional intelligence know what they are feeling, what their emotions mean, and how these emotions can affect other people. For leaders, having emotional intelligence is essential for success. Research suggests that a high EQ is associated with a lot of benefits, from improved mental health and relationships to higher job satisfaction to academic performance. So when you are leaders, it's even more important because you have to work with other people. And so they determine there's 4 main components of emotional intelligence, and many skills that we can develop. The number 1 is self-awareness. So to be emotionally intelligent, you need to be self-aware. The number 2 is self-regulation, or capable to do self-management. The number 3 is social awareness. And number 4 is relationship management. So these are the 4 main things. So the number 1, self-awareness. That means always know how you feel and know how your emotions and your actions can affect people around you. Have a clear picture of your strengths and weaknesses. So how do you develop self-awareness? You know that, you are yogis. Daily meditation. When you calm the mind and you listen to the self. Daily meditation, you calm the thoughts, you clear your mind, you connect to the self. Daily japa. Japa means meditation using a mantra to concentrate the mind and to elevate the mind. Number 3, daily asanas. That means the asanas or the yoga postures help you to slow down. So when your mind slows down and you are more aware of your body, you also become more aware of your mind and your emotions. Daily pranayama. Pranayama is to regulate and balance the prana, the vital air. Okay. So next thing you need to do, if you want to improve self-awareness, is to keep a journal where you write down your thoughts, and then you start to realize that certain thoughts are not really very important, and certain thoughts are really coming from the core of yourself. So it's an exercise to know yourself. So do self-inquiry is something you need to do to be more self-aware. What is it? Self-inquiry means asking yourself, who am I? And realize that I am not my emotions. My emotions are not me. So it's try to avoid the egotistic attitude. Because the self here, self-awareness, is aware of the true self, not the ego self. So when you exercise self-awareness, you stay humble. Okay? You practice humility. So humility doesn't mean that you don't know or you're stupid. Humility just means that you keep a distance, with what the mind says. And you are non-egoistic. So the next thing you need to practice is to practice steady wisdom, self-confidence that come from your control of the mind and your awareness of the self. When it becomes steady, then you feel calm. You connect to the silent witness within you, to the knower within you, to the observer within you, that is untouched, unhurt, always present, peaceful, independent, calm, fearless, happy, and self-reliant. So this is, from that point of view, of being the self that is always there, that is always present, that is peaceful, that is complete, that is untouched and unhurt, fearless and happy. From that point of view, then you can notice what's going on in the mind. that is different than that self. Okay? So then you become more aware. So when you stay on the point of view of yourself, then you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions. So is it clear? That self-awareness comes from yourself. So you cannot be emotionally intelligent, emotionally knowing what you are feeling and thinking, if you are not aware of yourself. But the awareness did not come easy, because you would have to practice meditation, slow down your thoughts, practice being the witness, calm down, in order for you to be able to notice. Okay? Number 2 is self-regulation. So now is a new word, regulation or management. So when they use the word self-regulation, self-management, in fact, it's not, see, it's confusing. It's not management of the true self, which is a silent witness that is all-knowing. It's not management of that. It's that true self that is all-knowing, that is regulating the tool, which is the mind and the emotions, in order for you to go through life in the most intelligent manner. Okay? So it's about staying in control by being able to control one's emotions. You know, the emotions can be very powerful. So it's like big waves that can come and then just covering your eyes, kidnap you, take over your life. So when you know how to self-regulate, I mean, you know how to control your mind and emotions, you can regulate them more effectively. For example, not attacking verbally others, make rush or emotional decisions, stereotype people, judgmental attitude, indulging in negative emotions, such as anger, hatred, lust, envy, jealousy, fear. So that's how that time they did experiment. There are many experiments when they did research on emotional intelligence, but one of those is they put a few children in a room with a glass door that they can see from behind, but the children cannot see them. And they put them through an exercise. They gave a big cake in the room, and whoever can control themselves not to eat the cake, and they got to eat the cake later, but they also have some extra reward. And then they put the cake in there and they close the door. And they name the children, A, B, C, D, or whatever. And they see the number A, for example, as soon as the door closed, jump on the cake. And then the number B, for example, try to resist. Eating his hand, hiding, not be able to see, so then resist. So you can see the different level of resistance, and the number D is maybe very calm, be able to to resist, but calm. And then later, they observe these children when they grow up, and they see that the one that is able to resist the emotional impulse of instant gratification is the most successful person in life. And the person that cannot resist, that jump to temptation right away, is a person that is not successful in life. So that's how they call emotional intelligence. The capacity to control your emotions. So self-regulation is being flexible. I mean, the mind has to be able to be adapting, flexible, and at the same time detached. So that time they don't talk about detached, but in the yoga philosophy, the detachment is very important. Detachment comes from this dwelling on the self that is there already all the time and perfect and complete and fulfilled, and looking at whatever it is there with detachment. I mean, not identifying, not attached, not identifying with that thing, thinking that it gives you the happiness, because you already fulfill, complete, so you don't need anything else. So that determines how we keep staying in the self. We're not losing ourselves in the emotions. So the boy that is not jumping on the cake, in some level, he has that detachment capacity. He dwelled on himself, and he detached from the cake. So he's more intelligent. So when you are emotional intelligent, you're not thinking that your feeling are yourself. See? Self-awareness allows self-regulation to function. So you have to be aware of yourself in order for you to regulate your emotions. If you don't have self-awareness, then your emotion can take completely over. Okay? So in order to self-regulate, you need to be very anchored in the basic ethical foundation, the niyama. Yoga scripture gave you these guidelines of conduct. Your values need to be clear. Okay? Non-violence, truthfulness, not lying, not stealing, no greed, no indulgence and abuse of sensual and sexual energy. So this is your value, the ethical foundation. In order for you to self-regulate, that means for you to navigate, if you like, your emotions, you need to know these guidelines very clearly. In order to self-regulate, you must practice also the yamas. Niyama is abstention, not doing certain things. But yama is observances. Yeah. So the yamas are purification. You need to do practices like yoga, meditation, pranayama to purify your mind. Not expecting your mind to be pure all the time, because it's like a floor or a carpet. Dust, fell down and then covering with dust. You said, oh, I just washed it yesterday. Yeah, but it's now again today. Yeah, and again tomorrow. So life is like this. You have to constantly have practices daily that you cleanse your mind. contentment, the practice of contentment. That means, again, you would have to keep reasserting that you don't need anything, because the nature of the mind is desire. So it keeps coming up with different kind of desire and make you go wrong, make you restless, and make you lose yourself. So you have to keep practicing contentment. You have to keep practicing some level of austerity. I mean, refining yourself so that your mind stay still, not desirous. And the practice of self-study, that means you need to daily follow scriptures, follow teaching, in order for you to remind yourself who you are, what the true picture is. Otherwise, you forget. And then self-surrender, that means to accept that everything, in fact, is just a learning lesson. So not go into the egoistic idea, I like this, I don't like this, and fighting everything, and making mistake. So the person that know how to self-regulate has a high EI, I mean emotional intelligence. That person is taking responsibility of their life. We hold ourselves accountable of our life. We avoid blaming and running away from our life. In yoga, it is living life in such a way not to create new karma by our negative reactions to circumstances of our life. So that's why, because we understand that if we misbehave, we will suffer sooner or later from the consequence of our misbehavior. So that's why, under challenge, under any kind of situation, we remain calm and positive, knowing that all will pass, that we are not what we experience, that everything is opportunity to practice. Practice what? Practice calmness, practice self-knowledge, practice discrimination, practice detachment, practice forgiveness, practice concentration, practice detachment, practice love. So all situation is an opportunity for you to consciously practice. The person that is self-aware and know how to self-regulate themselves and taking responsibility of their life is ready to admit their mistakes and to face consequences, whatever they are. Okay? So if you cannot accept your mistakes, then it's very difficult, because the mind becomes very muddy. You have to be ready to accept the consequences also of your mistake. So this way, they earn respect of people around them by this attitude of self-responsibility. Yeah? So self-regulation means the capacity to deal positively with stress also. Yeah? So you learn to control your prana and your breathing, and you learn how to conserve your prana, not wasting your prana. When you practice Hatha Yoga, that's what we do. So how do you become more self-regulated person? Is you have to manage that your prana is all the time high and even. You have to practice that. You have to learn to be flexible, not stubborn, not egoistic, not thinking that life belongs to you in a way that, you have to learn to adapt, adjust, accommodate with whatever situation is. And you have to learn to face your existential anxiety. When things don't add up in life, you're anxious, but you need to understand what is the purpose of my life. You have some existential questions, you need to be able to answer them by study yoga philosophy, by practicing meditation. Yoga philosophy helps to identify with our unchanging and perfect nature and to be detached from the mind. So that's what it is. When you practice philosophy or you practice meditation, you become detached. You knowing that the mind is only an instrument, knowing that our negative emotions are not ourselves, and keep ourselves positive. That's called self-regulation. Knowing that what happens is the result of our past karma. Why you have to experience something so unpleasant, why you have to experience something painful. So you understand it is the result of your past thoughts, your past tendency, your past karma, and our past mistake in thinking. So this happened in order for you to learn your lesson and correct yourself. Okay? Not continue the same way. So the high emotional intelligent person is able to stay patient, calm, self-surrendered, and express ourselves to alleviate the aggravation from karma. So when karma comes, so some situation come to you and you are upset. The situation is contradictory to what you think and feel. Atma Jyoti, can you unmute me? She cannot unmute herself. So you know that what happened to you is a result of your past thoughts. So then the high emotional intelligent person will not just only react, but stay calm, stay patient and accepting, but at the same time, learn to work it out, the situation, express yourself, try to alleviate the aggravation of your karma. I mean, you need to learn from the situation, but you don't need to be so lost in the situation. You need to stay yourself calm so that you can see yourself through that difficulty, but not just repeating the same pattern. You have to, at the same time, slowly learning your lesson, knowing your mistake, and at the same time, work the situation out slowly. The emotional intelligence. So it's not like completely not taking responsibility of the situation, blaming, so that is not helpful. You have to know something is wrong, but you have to also take responsibility of the situation and your action, because it comes to you. It comes to you, I mean, it's your karma. It's something come back to you now. So understanding that everything is an opportunity to learn. So the scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, talks about equanimity. So this is a concept of equanimity. That means balance of mind in success or failure. You have to stay calm in success or failure. Offering our actions to the divine. Okay, so you have to have some intelligence in there. I mean, things don't happen, you know, because things don't happen if there is no reason. And the reason is always a lesson to be learned by you. So you need to stay calm. And you need to do the best you can, offering your actions to the divine. Yeah. So karma yoga attitude helps you to detach from your own sense of doership. So you very much, we very much identify with our life, with our mind, with our emotions, with our actions. But this will keep the karma, keep repeating itself. So we need to be detached again here. You need to have a distance to our thoughts and our action, our activity and our emotions, thus alleviating the grip of your ego in this life. Ego is a result of the karma. So now you are so involved in it, and you keep repeating the same mistake. So you need to alleviate your involvement with your own sense of ego, your own sense of yourself, and remain calm. So this is the lesson of karma. So the motivation is to learn to be selfless while doing your duty in life. Okay? Not to take oneself too seriously. Learn detachment. Motivated leaders are optimistic and hopeful for something always good. Why? Because they have positive thinking. So that capacity of positive thinking, something you need to learn. So you can face all situations, all challenges, always finding some positive solution. So the number 3, we had 4 aspects of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, and now relationship management and relationship awareness. Okay? So emotional intelligence is based on the understanding that we are one in spirit, and we are not isolated, separated, alone. And our relationship with each other is not a relationship of competition, but of acceptance, It's not a relationship of abuse, but of respect. It's not a relationship of taking, but giving. So our relationship with each other should be a relationship of cooperation, of harmony, of love, of empathy, of unity. So we have to learn to look at situations from other people's perspective. It's called relationship awareness. We develop unconditional love and regard for others. We function not out of our own function out of our because normally we function out of our selfishness, but now we learn unselfishness, to function in such a way that we see ourselves in others, or seeing the divine in others. Okay, so that's an education. Learning to see unity in diversity. But we have to see ourselves too, not just only see the other. And that is a skill, to be able to see yourself. So we need to understand that all relationships are karmic. So when we talk about relationship, you need to know that you are learning lesson from all. These relationships are there for us to learn. So we learn to transform our negative emotions to pure love, not repressing, not expressing, but sublimating our emotions. So you develop the skill of relationship awareness and relationship management when we learn to open our heart. Feel always the presence of God in and around us. So there is a method that you can follow, that you can develop. It's called the 9 modes of Bhakti. Bhakti yoga is a science of how to transform your emotions to devotions. So I just summarize here the skills. You need to develop the skill of listening to others, the skill of seeing good in others, praising others, seeing always good, the skill of respecting and remembering the presence of the divine all around you in others, the skill of serving with humility, the skill of offering gifts from your heart to others, the attitude of prostration of respect to others, the feeling of being service-oriented whole life, always serving, and the practice of closeness to others, and making amends when you make mistake. You need to make amends. And the last one is the practice of self-surrender. That means the practice of unconditional acceptance. Okay, that life is perfect. Actually, everything is teaching you So number 4 skill. So we remember we have self-awareness, we have self-regulation, we have relationship awareness and management, and number 4 is social awareness. Okay, so we have to learn some skills when you live in a society. For example, non-violent communication skills. You have to learn to talk, express your needs without attacking. You have to learn skills of conflict management. Swami Vishnu said the truth is in between both. You have to learn some social skills. For example, feeling comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, you are in situation, you feel very uncomfortable, but you have to feel comfortable when you are uncomfortable. That is social skill. You have to learn the skill of teamwork, of collaboration, of cooperation. You have to learn the power of influence. Yeah, how to build up your trustworthiness. I mean, people will trust you. How to build trust and how to be able to influence others. You have to learn organizational awareness, how to organize yourself in daily life, how to organize your work, how to organize your environment. You have to learn to build bonds, build good relationship. You have to learn to understand others and developing others. You try always how to help other people to progress. You have to learn to be a coach or mentor. You have to be an inspirational leader and to have a creativity and innovation in your own idea. So these are a few skills that you need to learn. So now I want to give you a few examples about what is called emotional intelligence. Example. Okay. Scenario. You are in a meeting and the boss is criticizing you in front of other co-worker. A higher EQ person would say, and you would do, maintain composure, politely excuse yourself to process your emotions in a safe environment. A low EQ person will become defensive and storm out of the office. Scenario. Your roommate tells you that it hurts their feelings when you forget to take out the trash, which you have agreed to. A higher EQ person, you explain why you dropped the ball, why you did not take the trash out, and tell them you understand why they are hurt, and then come up with an action plan together about how to get both of your needs met. A low EQ person will find it difficult to understand why they are so upset and feel attacked by their criticism. Scenario. You and your colleague were up for the same promotion, but they got the promotion instead of you. So the high EQ person, you reflect and realize that If you are being honest with yourself, you were not working as hard as your coworker, and their promotion is well deserved. But low EQ person, you may fire off an angry email to your boss, demanding an explanation or threatening to quit. So another scenario, you pass an exam and post about it on social media. A high EQ person would say, you are proud of yourself for the goal that you have achieved and appreciative of any support you receive. A low EQ person, you may question your success or your worth because your post did not get many likes. You know, you're posting on social media, you want to have like. And then you expect a lot of like from other people, but they don't care. So then you question yourself. Social skill scenario. You are on a date and doesn't seem to be going very well. Your high IQ, you ask an open-ended question, maintain good eye contact, and practice active listening. Low EQ person, you may stop paying attention and decide there must be something wrong with your date. And that's it. So it's a lot of skills to practice. Okay. So now we have 1 minute. The question, previous question I will answer. She must have a chat box. One person say that in the book on selfless love that I wrote, if you don't have the book, you can ask the ashram to send you. It says about selfless love and unconditional. But she said, but if the person all the time creates the pain to me, this time and another time and all the time, even though I forgave many times, then should I continue to be generous or continue to love? Because I know for sure that a person will create pain like this for other people. Well, the answer is very clear, because you are still saying the person did this, did that, create pain to me. But how about you? What did you do? Yeah? What did you do to keep the pain coming to you? You cannot, I said all the time that you cannot blame. People are who they are. They're immature, they're lustful, they are, emotional, non-intelligent. They are they don't have self-awareness. They don't know that they create pain to others. They are who they are. But you need to know for yourself. You need to have self-awareness. I mean, you need to know. You know already. You know that something is wrong there. Yeah. But you don't know how to regulate your mind and emotions. Something is wrong. You know that something is wrong, but you are so attached that you all the time keep yourself. If people create pain to you one time, that's enough. You don't have to You don't have to keep going with that for many times, you've said. Because you can see that your problem is your own attachment. Your problem and your own lack of self-regulation. You don't know how to control your own emotions. Yeah. And there's a lot of probably fear in you, or there's a attachment for sure. Yeah. But it's not unconditional love. I never thought that. It's not unconditional love. It's attachment, and attachment is not unconditional love. Yeah, so you need to take responsibility of your own happiness. Yeah, and cease to think that you can help somebody by being suffering from their action. You cannot help you cannot help anybody. You know, you have to help yourself to be, to have self-respect and to love yourself. Yeah, and that's it. You just have to love yourself, respecting yourself, regulate your own emotions, and be respectful of your own emotions, and trust your self-awareness, and that's it. Yeah. So don't go into that usual way of thinking, which is, should I quit or should I not quit? Yeah. I quit, then what happened to me? I quit, then what happened to the other person? These are not relevant questions, are not needed. Yeah? You don't have to think quit or not quit. Life is not like that. You have to think, how do I become more happy on my own? How do I come closer to the true happiness, which is my true self? Yeah. And then how do I love myself more? Yeah. Not being selfish, but how do I really find myself? Because we said all relationships are karmic. That means, what do I learn from this? Yeah. I learn from this the lessons of attachment. I learn from this the lesson of self-respect. I learn from this the lesson of selfless love, including selfless love of myself. Okay? So there's some mixing thing. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. So now we do Trayambakam, and then we do the Arati. Oh.